We will see how to maintain cabin pressure and temperature inside an aircraft. Okay. So there are two types of methods to maintain this cabin pressure and temperature. One is the air cycle system. This system is also is a efficient system for maintaining the cabin pressure and temperature, and another one is the vapor cycle system. This is another one system for maintaining the cabin pressure and temperature. Now we will see the air cycle system for maintaining the pressure and temperature. So here we can see the schematic diagram of this air cycle system. So in air cycle system there are so many numberings in the diagram. I will tell you the numberings and all. The 1 and 2 is the left and right engine of the system, and 3 is the flow limiter, 4 is the primary heat exchanger, 5 is the primary heat exchanger bypass valve, next one is the shut off valve, next is the compressor, then secondary heat exchanger, then water separator, then secondary heat exchanger bypass valve, and refrigeration unit. So we have engines and flow limiter, then primary heat exchanger, then primary heat exchanger bypass valve, then shut off valve, then compressor, secondary heat exchanger, water separator, secondary heat exchanger bypass valve, then lastly the refrigeration unit. Okay, now we will see what and all how this air cycle system works, that we will see now. So first, what is happening means, we all know that from the engine only we will take some air for this pressurization unit and all, because we can't supply a separate storage capacity for this pressurization unit and all. So it may take so much space, and also it may take so much amount of space in the aircraft itself. So it is not feasible for having such system. So what we use is, we use the bleed air from the compressor or from the engine. Okay, so for this air conditioning and the pressurization system. So here the one is the, we know this part one is the engine compressor, from where the air the air is taken out by using the bleed air. The bleed air is taken out from the compressor. So next the air will be going to the flow limiter. So flow limiter, what it will do means, the flow limiter limits the amount of compressed air to entry into the system, because how much amount is needed, that much amount will be entered into the system. It won't allow too much amount of air inside the system, because it doesn't need that much amount of air. Suppose if there is a problem in the pipeline and all means, then the flow limiter will limit the amount of air to enter into the system. So this flow limiter itself, it is a partial amount of air from the flow limiter goes to the primary heat exchanger. Not full amount of air air is supplied to the primary heat exchanger. Only partial amount is supplied to the primary heat exchanger. The primary heat exchanger, it utilizes ram air for cooling purpose. The ram air is utilized for the cooling purpose. The compressed air taken from the engine compresses engine compressor. It may be at the range of 200 to 400 degrees Celsius. So that much amount of temperature it will be having. So here the air from the compressor is cooled without reducing much pressure by using this heat exchanger. That is the work of this heat exchanger. So as I told, so partial amount is taken to the heat exchanger. The another amount of compressed air from the flow limiter goes to mingle with the heat exchanger outlet air. So it mingles with the heat exchanger outlet air to make a constant temperature air of 300 degree Fahrenheit. So it makes a constant temperature of 300 degree Fahrenheit. So the constant temperature air can be attained only by the primary heat exchanger bypass valve, by operating the primary heat exchanger bypass valve. So see, suppose the temperature from the heat exchanger outlet is very much less means, what it will do means the bypass valve get opened, and the hot air from the compressor, it will get mixed with this outlet air, and so that temperature is maintained at 300 degree Fahrenheit. So after the after the outlet, the 300-degree Fahrenheit air is going to the for three purposes. It is split into three purposes. One is for anti-icing system. Second one is for supplying hot air to the cabin. Third one is for the refrigeration unit. So it is split into three parts, and one part amount of air it moves to the anti-icing system. The second part it moves to the cabin, and the third part it moves to the refrigeration unit. Okay. So this 300-degree Fahrenheit air, it is also used for the de-icing purpose also. Okay. For de-icing and all, the air is supplied to the leading edge, because ices will be formed at the leading edge of the wing. So what will happen means is air is passed to the leading edge of the wing, and it will disperse the ice. Okay. So that is the purpose of the de-icing and anti-icing systems. So as I told, the second part is moved to the hot air is moved to the cabin for supplying hot air into the cabin. Okay. The remaining part is for the refrigeration unit. That on So in the refrigeration unit, it contains here we can see this refrigeration unit. So this arrow represents the refrigeration unit. It contains the compressor, turbine, and a water separator. Both the turbines and compressor are connected to the same shaft. So the refrigeration unit, it consists of a compressor, the turbine, and a water separator. This turbine and compressor, it is connected to the single shaft. We can see here from the diagram itself, it is connected to the single shaft. Okay. So the air flows from the compressor region. It strikes the so because the work of the compressor is to increase the pressure of the air. So the pressure of the air get increased after flowing from the compressor. Then the air goes to the secondary heat exchanger, where the air is taken where the heat is taken from the ram air by convection. So because of the ram air from here, the air get cooled down. So the output of the secondary heat exchanger goes to the turbine. So after the compressor, the air is going to the secondary heat exchanger. Then from the secondary heat exchanger, the air goes to the turbine. The what the turbine does means, the cold gas is allowed to expand. So here the cold gas is allowed to expand, so that pressure drops, and because of the pressure is dropping, automatically the temperature is also drop. So here the temperature again it drops. Okay. So because of the after the expansion in the turbine, the air which is in the circular motion is allowed to go to the water separator region for separation of water particles in the cold air. So after the expansion, we know that because of the expansion process, air get cooled, and there will be some water droplets. The water droplets need to be get removed. So here we have a water separator. This water separator will separate the water. Here, because of the centrifugal force, the water get collected to the walls of the water separator, and in the water separator there are some holes, and because of the holes, the water particles will get drained from the water separator unit. So in the cabin, we need only the temperature range of 60 degree Fahrenheit to 125 degree Fahrenheit, and a pressure of 3 psi, which is suitable for human to breathe and all. So by opening and closing of the refrigerant bypass valve, so then we have a bypass valve which opens and closes. By opening and closing, we can mingle the pure cold air and 300 degree Fahrenheit air to make a possible living temperature for the human beings. Okay. then it is applied to the cabin. So we can use this for pressurizing and to maintaining the temperature and pressure in the cabin. Okay. So after maintaining to a proper temperature and pressure, the air is allowed to go to the cabin by suitable pipelines. So by using some pipelines, the air will be passed from the refrigeration unit to the cabin. Okay. So suppose if there is any problems in the pipeline means, then we directly mixes the hot air from the ram air, mix the hot air supply with ram air, because we have this ram air, which is ram air here. So the hot air will get mixed with the ram air, and then it will be supplied to the cabin. But this is only for the emergency purposes. This ram air method of cooling pressurization should be done separately by cabin superchargers or whatever the device build up for pressure. Okay. So this is the overall process of this air cycle system. So what the main purpose, I will just tell like this. From the engine, the bleed air will come inside to the system. The flow limiter will limit the flow of air, and the flow limiter, from the flow limiter there will be the air will get splitted between two. Some part of air, it will goes to the primary heat exchanger, and other part it comes to the outlet of the near the outlet. There we have a bypass valve session, and from the heat exchanger there is get the hot air from the compressor is get somewhat to cool down, and is then passed to the refrigeration unit. So from the refrigeration unit, I have a compressor, because the work of the compressor is to increase the pressure and temperature of the air. So after coming out from the compressor, they automatically the air gets the temperature and pressure of the air get increased. So what we use is we use some bypass valves, and we pass the ram air and the ram air to the outlet of the uh, compressor. So there also we need a heat exchanger, because we need to cool the air, because after refrigeration unit the air should be cooled down. So what we need to do is we need to cool the air from the compressor. So after cooling down from the secondary heat exchanger bypass valve, it enters the turbine. So in the turbine the air get cooled down, so the it has some water droplets, then it will be passed to the water separator. After that it gets passes to the water separator separates the or drain the water inside the air. So after that it will get passed to the cabin, when it is for hot air means it is just mixed with the ram air, and it gets passed to the cabin, or it will get straight away, it will be passed to the cabin. So this